Good morning and welcome to the porch once again. Now, as you can see, we're not on the porch right now. We're actually just pulling up to the shooting range. You'll probably hear some gunshots in the background there. But we decided to do a training day for Wanda and I. We both carry concealed, and we just like to really be up on our training, know what we're doing, and make sure that we stay adequate with our firearms. And we just want to invite you guys along. You enjoy this and see what Wanda and I do. We do a whole lot of different things, and we just, for two old people, we stay pretty busy, but we have a lot of fun with it. And so we're going to get out here on the shooting range and do a little bit of practice and that sort of thing. Now, we're videoing this, and I want to do a quick disclaimer here on this video. This is not a training video. This is just for entertainment purposes only. Now, you'll see us do a lot of things, safety things, and things that we've learned over the years to try to keep everybody safe. Long and short of it is training. If you're going to carry a weapon, I would say that training is essential for you to do. One of the concerns that I've had, and before I share that concern, I want to say this to you. I am a big Second Amendment guy. I like for us to have our firearms that we need. Somebody rapid firing out there. I'm not so sure that's necessary, but anyway, younger folks. But anyway, lost my train of thought. Sorry about that, guys. But anyway, we see people out there that are carrying firearms that are not trained with those firearms. And this concerns me a great deal. Again, I want people to have the freedom to carry their firearm and that sort of thing, but I'd really like to know that they've been trained. Now, I've been carrying a firearm ever since I was probably 10, 11, maybe 12 years old. I was raised up on a farm, and a part of being raised up on a farm was the carrying of a firearm as a tool. Now, I want to share with you just a quick deal about that, a quick story so that you kind of understand my mindset. Being raised on a farm, we carried guns and learned to use them really early on. And the reason we did, because there were dangers out there on a farm that you had to deal with, and they were very real dangers. For instance, we had livestock out there, and wild dogs would pack up back in those days, and they were pretty bad to do that. And they'd attack and kill your livestock. Now, as a young kid, the first time that I'd ever seen this happen, I got to be honest with you, it was horrific for me to see this. A pack of wild dogs came through and attacked one of our farm animals, actually attacked two or three of our farm animals, but did kill one of the farm animals, or at least we injured it bad enough we had to go ahead and put the animal down. But they attacked them, and we heard the commotion. And time we got to the back side of the 80 acres that we had, the dogs had already done lots of damage to those animals. And when my brother-in-law, he's older and faster, and he got there first, and he actually ended up killing the dogs, which just had to happen. It just needed to be. And time I got there, and I walked up and looked at the animal that we had to put down, and I'd seen the damage that was done to that animal. I got to be honest with you, it was horrific. To this very day, I don't like to think about it. And I realized then the dangers that actually were out there in the real world that existed. And so I carried a gun with me. As a younger kid, I carried a gun a lot, most all the time. And that was part of the reasons that I did. And when you see an animal laying there butchered up like that, still alive and suffering, you realize that the reality of this world is not always pretty, and that it can be horrific at times. And so think about this. If you're going to carry a gun, train with it, but understand it's a tool, and it's a tool to keep bad things like that from happening to you and your animals and things that you're really designated in this life to protect. Well, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and Juan and I are going to get our targets set up and get out there and get ready to do a little bit of training, and we're going to let you guys watch us do part of the training and things like that. So let's get started. Okay, this is going to be the weapons that we're going to be shooting today. There's a Glock 45 and a 19X. And there's a bit of a story behind those two guns, and we're going to tell the story, but not right now. Let's see if I can get a better shot of these weapons. The Glock 45 belongs to Wanda, and the 19X belongs to me. I shoot her up.
Let me get my earplugs in.
Firing line going hot. Go ahead and step up. Okay. Shooter ready?
Yes.
Okay. Make ready and fire. Okay. Clear.
Clear.
Firing line cold. Okay, firing line hot.
Clear.
Go ahead and keep loading. I'm filming.
I'm done. I've got mine loaded.
Go ahead and load mine.
Sound like it is.
Okay, go ahead and get your gun. Go ahead and step up, load and make ready. When I tell you to load and make ready, you step up and load and make ready. Okay, you understand the string?
Yes.
Load and make ready. Fire when ready.
Clear.
Clear. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and shoot. Firing line hot. Clear. Okay, some of the things I want to show you guys about these two weapons here, the 19 19X was designed for the Special Forces, particularly Navy SEALs, if I understand that right. And the 45 was designed for the FBI. Now, there's a few features that are a little bit different on these two guns. One of the features being the serrated slide on the front. And I actually, it's been a couple of years ago. Well, no, probably a year ago. I'd gone down to buy a 19X, been wanting one for 2 or 3 years, and they didn't have any in stock, so I ended up buying the 45. And I liked the gun, but I've carried 1911s so much in my life that I just never could get myself to carry it. And anyway, one day Wanda was talking to me about it, and it's Mother's Day. Oh yeah, go. We're done. Thank you. Anyway, having said that, she asked me what I was going to do with that gun, since I wasn't carrying it, and I told her I didn't know. It's just hard for me to change out carrying the 1911 to carrying something else. Anyway, long and short of it is, I could tell she wanted the gun, so I just gave it to her. Well, a year later, they got the 19Xs back in stock, and so I went ahead and bought the 19X. Now, you know, a person could say, well, the 45 has more features on it, and that's true. But I think I like the color of the 19X better, and that was a selling point to me on it. And the other thing was the trigger on the 19X is just a little bit better than it is on the 45. But they're both good triggers. There's not anything wrong with them. Now, one of the things I did do on the 45, and I'll show you guys this if you can see it, I did go ahead and put some high glow sights on it. And Wanda likes that real well. And on the 19X, it has the night sights on it that glow in the dark, and I kind of like those. They're all right. I'm not going to change them out. They're good sights. The original Glock sights on the 45s, well, what can I say? They're original Glock sights, and they're not anything that's attractive, and I don't really like them, so we changed those out. Small investment. And did a little bit of polishing on the trigger on the 45, so it shoots a little smoother than it did originally. But long and short of it is, that's the guns we're shooting today. Now, like I said, I'm carrying this 19X now. I used to wouldn't do it. I tell you, it was just so hard for me to put that 1911 pistol down that I'd carried for so many years, that I went ahead and started carrying this one to get used to it. And I got to be honest with you, I should have done this 3 years ago when I said I was going to. And the reason why is I have to check and see if that 19X is even on me, because it's so light. And the ammunition, you know, you can carry, I believe it's 17 rounds in that 19X, and then you got 2 extra magazines, or 19 round magazines. And it's just much lighter than the 1911. Now, don't get me wrong, I'll never get rid of my 1911s. I love those guns. But the older I am, the less I like carrying weight, and the less I care for recoil. The 9mm, it does a good job, and doesn't have nowhere near the recoil that the 1911 45 calibers that I carried for years had. So anyway, that's kind of the rundown on it. We've got out here and done a little bit of training. There's my wife. She loves training. I'll tell you what, guys, you just tell me if you got a lady that loves guns and that's a good shot and a good cook. I just have to ask you, what in the world more do you want to ask for in life? That's as good as it gets. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and put our equipment up and get out of here. Thank you guys for coming along, and we'll talk to you here just in a little bit. So we're just now leaving the shooting range. Of course, you can see my hair's messed up. I'm not as pretty as I ought to be, but anyway, it's a good time. Got out there and shot, and I think I might have actually outshot Wanda today. That's pretty unusual for me to do that, but I think I got her today. But anyway, we appreciate you guys coming along. Let me encourage you guys in something. If you're going to carry a weapon, train with it. Understand what that weapon's capable of, what it needs to be used for. And you may say, well, I don't know who to get to train me. Well, there's a lot of folks on line that you can go to that offer training. A lot of these guys are special forces and military guys, and I've watched them. The fact is, I've learned a lot from them. These guys are really good, and they know what they're doing, and they can train you with that weapon where you'd be proficient with it, and it's worthwhile. Now let me say this, if you go out there and drive a car, you practice until you can get a license, and you can't get a license until you get proficient with that car. Well, my estimation of guns is pretty near the same thing. Now, Second Amendment right, we don't have to practice to carry that gun. But let me tell you something, that gun is at least as dangerous as a car, and maybe more so, especially if you have to use it, which maybe you never will, and I hope you don't. But practice with it. Get the training you need. It's a good investment. Okay, guys, as always, we love you guys, and God bless you.